Laura read Jeramey for filth, and rightfully so. Now, don't get me wrong, Laura definitely has this witchy vibe about her, but I live for her reads. And she always gives us a masterclass of how not to fall for the manipulation that these men like to do. Because Jeramey was really trying it. He got caught respectfully cheating. He's still denying it. But in this episode, we got confirmation from Sarah that he was respectfully cheating. They may not have done anything physically, but there was definitely emotional cheating going on. And there was definitely plotting going on. And I think Jeramey was plotting to leave Laura from after that whole argument from the honeymoon. I don't think Jeramey had any intentions of marrying Laura, and I think Laura was very right to call him a con artist. Now, why would Jeramey stay with Laura even though he had made up his mind that he was going to go back to Sarah Ann? Because he wanted to humiliate her and he wanted to punish her. And I feel like the justification for this was because Laura was mean. Laura was always insulting him and he didn't like that. And this was his way of teaching her a lesson. Now, Laura was definitely mean, definitely rude. And I definitely wouldn't want her as my wife personally. But at the end of the day, Jeramey made a commitment to her. And he knew who she was when he made that commitment to her. So if he wanted to break up with her, he should have just done that. There was no need for all of these games. There was no need for all of this disrespect. And honestly, I think in this situation, obviously Laura calls him a narcissist, but I think Laura has some narcissistic traits too. And I think there's always like one couple in the season where it's like battle of the narcissists and everybody's like judging who is like the worst narcissist. I think in this case, it's definitely Jeramey. He's definitely winning the narcissist off. I think at the very least, Laura has self-awareness, but Jeramey just completely lacks it. So if I have to pick between these two people exhibiting narcissistic traits, I'm Team Laura. But let's do an analysis of Laura reading him for filth. So first off, she calls him a con artist and a liar and basically says like he's just been a con from the very start. He denies this and he tries to put the breakdown of their relationship back onto Laura. But Laura shuts that down straight away. Now, at this point where they're having their confrontation, they're at the place where everybody meets up, including the people who were in the pods that didn't get engaged. We're at that point in the episode. This is after the whole confrontation where Jeramey got caught respectfully cheating. He was basically saying that he tried to reach out to Laura, but Laura was being rude to him and wasn't being receptive to him making amends. But at this point, we've already got the tea from Sarah Ann that after their whole closure meeting in the parking lot / Sarah Ann's house, that he was basically saying that he was going to break up with Laura and get with Sarah Ann. So how are you saying you're trying to make amends, you're trying to make things right, and Laura's making things difficult when you'd already made up your mind that you were leaving Laura anyway? And bear in mind, this is, he made up his mind before Laura even confronted him, which is why they are arguing in the first place. And then on top of that, he reached out to Laura 3 days after that argument. I mean, fair enough with the, I tried to make amends if you did it within 24 hours. But 3 days later, when you know you're guilty, red flag. So yeah, bitch. I can definitely understand why Laura was being rude off the bat. She probably would have been rude after 24 hours. But yeah, you're fucking cheeky. 3 days after I've caught you respectfully cheating, you're trying to hit me up. I would have told you to fuck off as well. And then on top of that, it seems like it's been a while since they've seen each other. So they're currently not speaking to each other. They've been arguing via text. And I'm assuming after she was like, fuck off, after he texted her after 3 days, he stopped communication because he was already plotting to break up with her anyway. So they haven't seen each other in, let's say, give or take a week. And now they're at this meeting place with everybody. They're meant to be engaged. And he's just avoiding her. It's even Laura that had to come up to Jeramey to have this confrontation anyway, because he was just avoiding her and just like scoffing every time anybody mentioned her name. So for him to try and flip this around in Laura, again, is this diabolical? And it's just like, Jeramey, do you not know that you're on camera? Do you not know that you're on camera? Like, he's just, I don't know. There's one thing lying and then there's one thing being bad at lying. So then Laura basically tells him like, it's over with. like, go kick rocks, like, I'm getting my stuff and I'm packing. And then he flips around and says, well, I've already packed your stuff. So you weren't even trying to hear her out. You weren't trying to resolve nothing. And that, well, I've already packed your stuff, was intentionally a dig there, and was intentionally, you know, something to make her feel inferior, because he's kind of like, oh, well, you're coming to pack your stuff. I've already packed your stuff, as in, like, you know, you're already, like, not my girlfriend anyway. So for him to come with this whole, well, I tried to make things right, but you've already packed her stuff up. You weren't coming here to make amends. And you never had intentions of making amends anyway. So that's why I kind of feel like the argument that they had after their engagement moon, he was already plotting to break up with Laura, get with Sarah Ann. And he was probably very, very happy when he came home to see that DM from Sarah Ann. Who knows, maybe he saw it before. But he was very excited to get with Sarah Ann so that he could get back at Laura, humiliate her, and get one up on her. So I definitely feel like he had some resentment towards her, and he definitely orchestrated this for it to be as humiliating as possible for Laura. But I gotta hear from you guys. What do you think Jeramey's intentions were? Did he come into this show to be a con artist? Was he genuinely looking for marriage? And when do you think he decided to break up with Laura? Was it after he saw Sarah Ann, or was it before? Let me know what you guys think.